Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of my Saltu journey. In part 1 I kind of laid out the groundwork on what I wanted to achieve with the series, and this is just a continuation of that. I said I was going to update once the new split started, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and keep this video somewhat brief. My first take was like 15 minutes, we'll try and cut that down a little bit. I don't have that much to say. But I'd like to start off with giving my update on process and where my rank is and my champ pool. So first off, I finished split 1 at gold 3, I think around 80 LP, which was a good way to end split 1 with my all-time peak, or at least the equivalent to. I believe back when I did it in season 9, the average players probably improved, so I think it's a good achievement to get up to the same point in terms of LP, because that does show improvement in the way of the average player in that rank is probably better than they were back then. So improvement has been steady in split 1. I'm very happy with how it ended. I think my potential climb was delayed by really having some fundamental issues that needed working on before I could really focus on improving my rank or my LP. There was just a lot of things that needed to be addressed first, especially in terms of champ mastery, ganking fundamentals, jungle tracking, and there's just a lot of little things that I'd never really thought about before because all of my improvement was based on mechanics with certain champions. I used a 1-trick or 2-trick, very niche picks maybe, and that artificially inflated my elo, I feel. I discussed a little bit about that in part 1. So yeah, I finished gold 3 80 LP. I got placed in gold 4 0 LP from split 2. And through my placements, I think I got up to pretty much the same point. I was like gold 3, maybe 70 LP out of placements. I went like 3 and 2. And that was a good starting point to come from. And I quickly started rising. But one thing I found is that I was not enjoying Wukong anymore. I'd hit a brick wall with him, and I had to ask myself a difficult question in that it was, do I want to improve at this champion that I'm not really enjoying and really focus on champ mastery and then switch later? Or do I want to pick up a new champion now and really get good at them? So I decided to switch champion because I'd reached this wall on champions in the past, and my love for that champion had gotten me past this wall. You know, I was around 50, 60 games deep with Wukong, and I was just not... I was sick of him, I'll be honest. So I decided to switch to Kha'Zix, and this is partially because of watching a lot of Kha'Zix reviews in Saltu and thinking this is a champion that I really enjoy. I then started watching content related to Kha'Zix, and I was like, okay, I think I have a good understanding of how this champion wants to play. So I decided to pick him up and saw immediate results with him. As of now, I've played around 16 games of Kha'Zix. I think I've won maybe 10 of those. It's a very small sample size, so I don't want to focus too much on win rate. But to contrast that with Wukong, I've played 12 in this split. I finished the first split with a 58% win rate with around 40-50 games played. I would need to double check that, but that's a brief estimate. And then I played 12 games with him in this split with a 42% win rate. So I decided, you know what, it's time to switch Wukong out. But I found very quickly that Kha'Zix is quite a high prio pick ban champion. In that there are a lot of games where he's banned, there's a lot of games where the enemy picks him if they have a quicker pick order. And initially I would pick Wukong in these games, but I was like, you know what, I just can't play this champion anymore. I'm going crazy after playing nothing but this champ. It's time to drop him completely. I just don't want to play Wukong anymore. Maybe I'll pick him up later down the line if he becomes a better champion again. Because right now, he's not in a terrible state. He's very playable. I would highly recommend him to below gold junglers. And he's also still very good in the top lane. Very aggressive. Got a very clear champ identity. Wukong's still a good champ. It just wasn't for me, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I decided I need to pick up a second champion. I wanted to pick up something quite simple in terms of champ identity. So I decided to go for Lilia after Nathan highly recommended him in Saltu. So I was like, okay, Lilia seems like an interesting champion. And as of recording, I've played 9 games of Lilia because Kha'Zix is quite a high pro pick ban. And I've won all of them. I have 100% win rate early days on Lilia. And the champ is... I'm not playing it particularly well. I'm not playing terrible. I think I'm playing okay on Lilia. I understand how she wants to play. She wants to be a 10 CS per minute, 1v9 solo carry jungler. Some people are playing Lilia wrong. If you're playing the Jack Show bruisery Lilia and you're not in Masters Plus, switch. It's Leandri's Dark Harvest all the way. It is an insane... impact champion past the point. If you get 2 items without committing too many mistakes in the early game, you will take over the game. And that's exactly what's happened with Lilia in pretty much every game I've played. I've had some seemingly unwinnable games where it's just like her objective control in the mid game, her ability to kind of get around the map like this, you know, hopping between camps, keeping the Q stacks up, hit anything that you can find to, you know, keep the momentum, keep the move speed, whether it be a wave or an objective or a champion even, like throw an E down lane, see if you hit someone, it'll keep you moving. If I'm transitioning from my top to bottom camps, for example, I'll wait in between the towers and just throw an E down. If it hits the wave, I keep the stacks going. If it is a champion, bonus. You know, you're getting damage off on people. And with Leandri's and Demonic, she does a lot of fucking damage. It doesn't feel fair. So Lilia is definitely a champion I'd recommend people play. I'm surprised she doesn't have more players. And Nathan brought up a good point in that maybe it's the visual aspect or the champ fantasy in the way that she is like this uwu kind of Disney princess kind of champ. But she's so damn strong. So that's my 2 champ pool at the moment. It's Kha'Zix and Lilia. And maybe I'll come to the next video, the next part of this series, and say, oh, I've dropped Kha'Zix, Lilia's too good. But at the moment, I think I'm going to try and stick with this. Play Kha'Zix slightly more than Lilia. Lilia have in the back pocket for those games where we need AP, or Kha'Zix is banned or picked. That happened today, actually, in one of my blocks. One of my games in my block is that they picked Kha'Zix, so I picked Lilia, and the Kha'Zix went like 4-10, and I just solo won the game. I kept catching him on objectives. He started Rift Herald. I killed him, took the Rift, caught him on Drake, killed him, took the Drake, invaded his jungle, took his whole bot side, killed him on his Gromp, all of this. Like, she's so strong. 4-stack Lilia is Thanos. Anyway, that's the point I wanted to get out of the way. This, combined with the almost delayed effect of really focusing on the fundamentals in Split 1, has led to me climbing very quickly. I am now in Plat 3, 29 LP, I believe. That is correct, yeah, 29 LP. I lost one of my games today. I could have easily been 80 LP as of recording. That one loss was quite frustrating. So... yeah, delayed payoff here, delayed gratification of just really focusing on things, not really seeing much improvement in terms of LP or rank, but really improving holistically, and now it's paying dividends. So that's how it is at the moment. I think I'll continue to climb at the moment. I don't think I'm reaching my peak yet. I think if I continue to play the way I am at the moment, Emerald is on the horizon. That is my prediction. And maybe when I release the next video, I say I've hit a plateau and I need to revisit something that I've missed, or something that I've neglected, or something that I didn't know that I needed to improve on. But that is my current view of things. My goal is to get Emerald within the next couple of months so I can really start to push for Diamond. The goal would really be by the end of the season, so by November or December or whenever the season ends, I want to be knocking on the door for Diamond. And that might seem delusional, or perhaps it is delusional. Maybe I'm going to get nowhere near there. Maybe I'll get stuck in Platinum. Maybe I'll get stuck in Emerald for months. Who knows? I don't know that yet. But that is my current goal. By the end of the season, I'd want to be knocking on the door for Diamond, if not be in Diamond. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick point about improvement with my personal life, in that doing the process has improved aspects of my life that I never thought it would. In that stage 4, which is something they talk about on the BBC if you don't watch it, stage 4 issues are issues outside of the game, tech issues, personal issues, that kind of thing, right? And one thing I found is that I was neglecting things in my life, because if you didn't know, I have a pretty severe illness that classifies me as disabled. So doing chores, personal tasks, is very physically taxing on the body. So it's very hard for me to do things. But one thing I found is why am I not playing well? What's going on here? And it'd be I'd look around and my room's a mess. I was like, okay, what do I need to do to clean my room? Well, there's things in the way, so I need to get rid of this laundry. I need to take some plates away, do some rubbish, that kind of thing. So by doing that, I'd clean my room. And then it's well, I need to pick up some laundry detergent while I'm in town. I might as well pick up the medication that I've needed to pick up for a month that I haven't. It'll improve my quality of life. So I go do that. I go to the doctors, maybe, whatever extra chores I need to do in town. And overall, it's just improved my quality of life massively. And I think one last point is that the process is massive. Reviewing games, improving stage 4 issues, really has been huge, saw a huge improvement. And one last point on reviewing games is I think it's been the biggest step that I've taken. When I started reviewing games, when I started the process just before I joined Saltu, so around 3-4 months ago, my reviewing was terrible. I would just watch full games and just kind of take away as many things as possible. But it's unrealistic because I fucked up minute 6 in this fight. And the game would be totally different if we won this. If I didn't go for this play, or if I improved my mechanical execution, or whatever it might be, the game would be totally different. So reviewing is a huge step. Just focus on, if you're new to reviewing, just look at your first death every game. And then from there, you can kind of reverse engineer the issues. Sometimes you can go back 2 or 3 minutes and say, this mistake happened because I misplayed here. Then it only seems like a small issue. By not identifying a threat at this point in the game, it leads to this death later. That kind of thing. But for now, just focus on your first death. Look at what you did and think about, really ask yourself questions. Okay, he killed me because he does more damage. Why did he do more damage? Oh, he cleared more camps than me. Why did he clear more camps than you? Well, he didn't go to this play that I went to that didn't end up working, allowing him to get a lead. Or maybe he invaded me or something like that. That kind of thing. If you start to ask high quality questions of yourself in these reviews, I guarantee you'll see improvement. And it might be delayed. As for me, it was delayed. It took months before any of this stuff started to pay off. But just give it a fucking go. There's no harm. If you're already playing 3 to 5 games a league a day, if you're playing 5 especially, cut out 2 of them, add in reviews, whether it be before your block, in between the games, after the games, whatever, the next day. I sometimes do that. I'll review my games before my next block. And that really helps. So yeah. I think I'll leave the video here. My next one, I think, will be at the next milestone, or maybe in a month from now, or maybe if I pick up a new champion, whatever it might be. But I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and peace.